Hey guys, hey, good morning. I think it's probably just a little after 5. I've been up since 2. I had therapy yesterday, and I'm waiting for Matthew to wake up around 5:45, 6 o'clock, so I can make him breakfast. It is an incredible life that we live. And I think we take a lot for granted. I have so many emotions, and it's on a daily basis. Like, it's not just, I'm happy, I'm sad, I'm happy, I'm sad. It's almost, it's damn near almost like hourly. It's the craziest thing, and I've been this way my entire life. I cry at a drop of a hat pin. Legitimately, anything. If I can think of something, something happening to my dog, and I'll start crying. I could work myself up into a panic attack very, very easily. It's hard for me to rise above and get over something that hasn't happened yet. So Matthew leaving, it weighs heavy on my heart. Now, him and I met online, and I told you guys this story. If you haven't seen it before, you're new to my channel, you can look back maybe like 10, 15 videos ago. I talked about how I met my husband and stuff. But there's other things I'd like to talk about within that, people don't always want you to see life, like real, honest life. Even the big vlogging YouTubers, they still edit things that happen. They still choose not to show you certain things. They pick and choose things out of their day to make their lives look exciting or interesting to keep you watching. Charles Trippy, I used to watch him religiously when he was married to the first Allie, and they got engaged in Spain, and I boo-hooed. just fucking boo-hooed. Like I knew them, they were my friends, and they're getting married, and then he got a brain tumor, and boo-hooed. I would watch his videos religiously day after day after day after day. And you kind of feel like excuse me, you kind of feel like you're a part of their life, and in a way you definitely are. And they talk to the camera, and they talk about this and they talk about that, but they don't really give you everything. Like he wasn't vlogging about him and Allie having marital issues. Like, from our point of view, he was sick, and he was going on tour because he's in a band, and he's had seizures and stuff since his brain tumor, and chemo treatments and stuff like that. So you didn't see all of that because she would pick up the camera, and they would kind of splice it. He was doing stuff on tour, and she would be at home taking care of the dogs and doing stuff and whatnot. So you don't really see, they decided to edit out. And then all of a sudden, he gets on and he's like, I have to tell you guys something. And, she makes a video, we need to talk. And they tell you all about, it's been going on for a while now, and it was just some part of our life we didn't feel like sharing, which is legitimate. I get it, but whatever. But when you become invested in somebody, when you watch them day after day after day, and I'm saying this for a reason, when you watch them day after day after day, and something like that happens, like, if I had just left off the fact that Matthew was going to Korea, and, you know, just edited all of my videos to where I look happy and excited and everything is fine. And then the day he leaves, you know, everybody would be like, what the fuck? You know, what happened? Why? What's going on? What's happening? There's another YouTuber, Brittany Taylor. And, you know, I watched her way back in the day. And then all of a sudden it came back up in my feed years later that she was pregnant and engaged. I don't know why I clicked it, but I did. And, you know, I fell in love with her all over again. But she was going to marry this guy, Milos. And, you know, from what she had told us about him, I mean, they looked like the cutest damn couple. They were loving on each other and hugging and kissing and just being adorable. And she was going through her entire pregnancy for like 9 months. You know, I watched her every week because she does one video a week, and she shows you little pieces of her life. And so you feel like you're going through this, and then all of a sudden, you know, like I think maybe a month after the baby was born, her and Milos broke up, and she never gives you a reason. She's still not talked about it. You know, she's like, I'm not ready to talk about it, which again, legitimate. But when big things like that happen, for me, it's almost a, you know, a kind of betrayal. And I have no right to, you know what I'm saying? I don't have the right to be angry that she doesn't want to share that. I mean, whatever happened between him and her, and whatever is happening in her life, obviously, you know, is something that she is just not, mouth is dry, she's not ready to talk about. Just like with him and Allie, like, you know, he just didn't really give you closure for that. So I personally feel that I try to share with you guys as much as I possibly can. I share the good times, the bad times, the really fucking bad times. And now, I suffer from suicidal thoughts. And I'm sure lots and lots and lots of you do. Now, is my life so horrible that I would do this? No. Rationality, my rational brain, not my emotional brain, my rational side, you know, I don't want to die. I don't want to leave my husband. I don't want, you know what I'm saying? But when you're in pain, you know, when you're in pain a lot, and I'm not just talking physical. Yes, I have physical pain and it's miserable, and a lot of the time my medicine isn't really taking care of it. Or, you know, as you'll watch me scratch my nose, because at 5 o'clock this morning, you know, well, actually like 4 o'clock this morning, I decided to roll out of bed and come down here and clean my kitchen, because I was like, you know what, just get up. I'm just sitting there crying in the dark, petting my husband like some kind of crazy person, and thinking about all kinds of shit. So what I was saying is, you know, I suffer from suicidal thoughts, and when I'm alone with my thoughts, that is something that is never a good thing for me. You know, I'm sure a lot of people enjoy the solace in being alone, and maybe these are people who have children, or maybe they're just a lot healthier mentally than I am. But I suffer from having, you know, being so overwhelmed that I just want the pain and the anguish and the panic and the anxiety and the depression to stop. I just want it to stop, you know, and it bothers me that, you know, my mind wanders back into old habits of, well, you know, it would be a lot easier, you know, Matthew could find somebody his own age, and I'm probably going to cry, and I'm sorry, you know, like, Matthew could find somebody his own age, and he could find somebody who's, you know, healthy, and somebody who doesn't have like 89,000 neuroses and isn't afraid to leave the house, and somebody who isn't constantly on pain medication, and isn't, you know, isn't me. I think a lot of the times I feel guilty because I've put him in this situation to where he has had to be in the military. Now, granted, he wanted to join the military as a part of his life a long time ago. When we first met, he was actually thinking, of going into the Navy. It just so happens that when we met and fell in love and everything, he decided not to go into the military. And then I got sick, and it was kind of a do or die, legitimately type thing. And I see the stress of his job because he doesn't, this is not the field he wants to be in. And I feel the, exhaustion, and I watch him fall asleep. Like, the minute he lays down, he's just so physically and mentally exhausted with taking me to, to all my doctor's appointments and my therapy, and trying to get me to the gym and making sure that I have whatever I need. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like he does so very much for me that a lot of times in my emotional side, I'm like, wouldn't it just be easier for everybody involved if I just wasn't here? And that's a really sad fucking thing to think about. But I'm not alone in this. And that's why I share it, because I need to know I'm not alone in all of this. I need to know that I am not absolutely batshit crazy. I have attempted suicide several times when I was younger, and once, I think 2015, I want to say, I had some issues. Nobody wants to talk about it. It's not something discussed because, it is so raw. I posted a, I guess it's a meme, but, somebody put a picture up, and it was somebody in white and then somebody in black. And it said, "Life asked Death, why do people love me but hate you?" And Death responded with, "Because you're a beautiful lie and I'm a painful truth." And that really, my mouth is so dry, and that really stuck with me. And then Father's Day rolled around, and I was faced with the fact that I don't have one. And I thought about Lonnie, and I thought about my dad, and I thought about my grandpa, and I thought about I just thought about all the people that are missing, and how horrible it was for, my mom and me and, my brother Sean, and, probably all their friends and the rest of the family that, they're missing from life. And, how hard it is on me. I can't do that to my husband, and I don't want to have those thoughts. I don't want to. Like, I legitimately try to nip it in the bud the moment it happens. But, sometimes the best thing I can do is to get it out in the open and, have people support me and have people tell me that I'm not the only one who feels like this. I don't make, a lot of vague posts, I try not to anyway, where, people will say, they say things that something's wrong, but they won't tell you what's wrong. And then, then they don't want to talk about it. Well, keeping these things inside is not healthy for me, because when I feel more isolated, I feel more uneven, and then I fall deeper into the pit of self-loathing and pity, and you know that whole ridiculous cycle that's never easy. You know, Saki being sick and not really sure what's wrong with her, and she's in my lap. I brought her down with me. You know, she's doing good. She was good all yesterday. No vomiting, but she's only eating boiled chicken, so I still need to take her in. But you know, she is my emotional support animal, and she is damn near the closest thing to a child that I have. And you know, I know that they don't live forever, and that weighs on me. You know, I'm not the type of person that will allow my animal to suffer because I'm selfish. You know, if there was something legitimately wrong to where, you know, she would be in more pain than not, then I would, you know, I would do what needed to be done, as hard as that is. So, you know, my thinking went back into Matthew was leaving, and I'm going to be all alone. And my mother-in-law works in Roseville, so most of the week I'm going to be by myself. And, you know, my anxiety and my medication keep me from driving. And, you know, and if Saki were to pass away, then, you know, all of that rolled into all of that, just kind of the waves of, oh my God, what am I going to do? Just constantly, you know, does this. You know, that's what my life feels like. Like, I'm on and up, and I'm on and down. I'm on and up, and I'm down. And I'm up, and I'm down. And I'm up, and it's so fucking exhausting. And having to diet is so fucking exhausting. It's exhausting. It is miserable. It's miserable. And, you know, I want my revision, but even my revision scares me. I'm like, what if my stomach doesn't work? What if I end up with a feeding tube? What if there's so many things. You understand what I'm saying? There's so many different things that can happen. And for some reason, my mind loves to think about those things, even when I'm trying to focus and do something else. And my therapist last night, you know, because I'm very open and very honest, just like I am with you guys, you know, I said I'm having those thoughts again, and, you know, I need to figure out what I can do to break my sugar addiction and deal with Matthew having to go. And if something were to happen to Saki, you know, I need to make sure that I'm not bottling all this up, because when it finally, you know, spills over, it would not be good. So this morning when I got up and I started, you know, to clean the kitchen, and my back was killing me and my hip was hurting, and, you know, I came over here and I took a big, you know, swig of my medicine, and I was like, okay, well, how much sleep did I have? Well, I didn't go to sleep till midnight, and I got back up at 2. And I'm like, you know, and I even took Trazodone. I took 2 Trazodone, didn't touch it. And, you know, I was hot and just in pain. And, you know, every time I really woke up, it was just, you know, thinking about stupid shit. And I just need to know that I am not the only person that deals with this. I have to know that there's somebody else out there that understands what the hell I'm going through. You know, I see so many of these beautiful people in the weight loss community who all their pictures are smiling, and all of their videos, you know, they're happy. You know, they share their NSVs, they share some of their depression and stuff like that when it happens. We talk about, you know, the food addictions and stuff like that, but I don't see anybody else going into this kind of depth. Trust me, my ass is looked. A lot of people ask me, you know, why I am still friends with Alesia. And I'm going to be honest with you, because she gets me. She understands what I'm going through, and I understand what she's going through. And when you find somebody like that, even if you have issues, even if you have fought, even if you knock out, drag out fights, stuff like that, like when you find somebody who understands something that is so ingrained in you and so deep, and I don't look to her to fix me, but I can talk. I know she's there, and she knows that I'm there for her. And we don't talk every day. But if I called her right now and woke her up and I told her, hey, I need to talk, she would sit and talk with me. And the same thing with her. It's very hard for me to open up to new people. And why I have such a tiny, tiny, tiny circle, because I don't feel worthy, number one, of making new friends. I don't do much small talk, and I legitimately feel like when somebody gets to know me, they're not gonna like me. And I've had this forever, but it really hit me when I was in a particular group here on YouTube, on this channel, years ago. And these people were supposed to be my best friends in the entire world. And all of a sudden, life shifted and I became the bad guy, and it was horrific. It really did a number on me. It really hurt me in a way that, I didn't think that I could be affected. But I was, and God help me, it was awful. It was so awful, and it kind of made me wall myself off, because, I was opening myself up to damn near anybody. I was accepting all kinds of friends, and I was talking to this person and hanging out with that person, and and my life was kind of an upswing. And then when they finally, didn't want to be my friend anymore, and the lies and the pettiness and the cattiness and the bullshit on all sides, even on mine, it made me into a person that I didn't want to be. And so I have tried my damnedest to strive and become somebody who doesn't do that anymore. And for the most part, I think that I've done a really good job over the last year. But it's still very hard for me to make new friends. Excuse me. There's a lady named Christina Guzman, and she has a YouTube channel here. I think it's Keto Christina. And she made a video yesterday, and she shouted me out and said some very sweet, amazing things. And I can't tell you how much it means to me. I really do. She talks about, she's going to be very close to Roseville when I move down there. And I am absolutely petrified to make new friends. I'm absolutely just terrified that if somebody really got to know me and I was really into them and, trusted them, that this shit would happen to me again. And it's happened to me my entire life. I become really good friends with somebody, and then all of a sudden they don't want anything to do with me. And it has to be a character flaw, or I'm not sure. Even my best friend of hell, it would be 17 years now, dropped me like a bad habit. I mean, she just decided she wasn't going to talk to me anymore, and just didn't. And that, again, is why this is so hard for me. I know this is a very long vlog, and I doubt anybody's going this far, but if you do, I congratulate you. And I needed to talk this morning, and I didn't want to call anybody and bother them. It's early, and I worry about my mom. I worry about, my mother-in-law. I worry about Matthew. I worry about my dogs. I worry about my friends. I worry about so much, so often. And sometimes my brain just wants it all to stop. But I'm just here to tell you guys that, life is definitely worth it. And you should absolutely never think that you're not wanted or you're not loved, because you have no idea what it feels like. Well, maybe you do. But the people you leave behind suffer when you do stuff like that. And people say, suicide is selfish. And in a way, it is. But those people that you leave behind don't understand what you're going through that would make you be so desperate to end it all. And I really just wanted to come in here and just tell you guys that I get it. I understand it, and I'm sorry, and hopefully tomorrow will be a better day, and hopefully later on today I will feel better. I don't know. But for right now, in this moment, I had to get this stuff off my chest. And for now, in this moment, I had to come down here and just let you guys know that you're not alone either. And you're wanted, and you're beautiful, and today might suck ass, but it doesn't rain every day. It cannot rain all the time. Eventually the sun has to come back out. So with this being said, I love your beautiful, gorgeous, amazing faces. I'm not going anywhere. I just wanted to talk, and I hope that this helps somebody. And I will talk to you again tomorrow. Mwah. Bye.